Coach, the conference rate seems to be playing out the same way it did last year to an extent. What kind of challenges do you think Harvard poses to you looking ahead?
I'd like to enjoy this for 15 minutes before we talk about Harvard. So, yeah, I mean, let's talk about today first.
Coach, I know you thought you would get a good shot from Princeton, but when you're watching the film, you guys really just physically outmatched them today. Do you see that this was a possibility?
Well, I mean, you always go into rivalry games nervous. You know, they've got nice skilled kids. They put points up against people. They give you that one-play capability. You're on the road. You know, so there's always concern when you're coaching. Always concern. So, you know, I wanted our kids to get a fast start. I thought that first quarter was about as well as we've played from top to bottom the entire season. And I think, you know, by going bam, we took a little bit of air out of their sail, and then we kind of gave it back to them a little bit in the second quarter. And then it was good that we came back out in the second half and kind of did it again, you know, just to finish it. But, you know, it was important we get out early. I think the longer you keep this thing close, the more confidence the other team has, and I think the harder the job becomes. So, from that perspective, we wanted to get out to a fast start. It's things we talked about all week.
Can you talk a little bit about getting the second string players in the second quarter and later in the game?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we try to play a lot of kids regardless. Because I think one of the things we managed to do is develop some depth and be 2 and 3 deep at some of the positions. And so it was a nice opportunity to roll in everybody. You know, you travel with 62 and all 62 play today. And I thought that was good. I mean, I thought it was good. It gives us a chance to rest up a little bit, some kids, chance for some other kids to get some game experience in case they're thrown into the fray next week or the week after. And that's what you want to try to do, ultimately. Just get everybody involved, get everybody sharp, and get everybody positive.
When's the last time you had 2 guys like these guys speed on offense? And can you talk about the dimensions?
Yeah, I mean, again, we're getting better on offense. We're getting better because we can throw the ball a little bit more effectively. I think people are a little bit more reluctant now to try to get 8 guys in the box as consistently as they did earlier in the season when we were going through and kind of developing an identity. And I think if the quarterbacks allow us to throw the ball better, you know, both Billy and Ryan, then I think we become multi-dimensional on offense. And now we have a nice combination of power inside, jet sweep outside, quarterback run game, and now we can throw the ball as well. And that kind of puts people a little bit on their heels, and we're able to capitalize today.
Coach, Aaron had 4 reverses, 2 for touchdowns. What did you see this week, you know, in order for you to run them?
Well, you know, we've been running them all year, so this is not a new play. But I thought we could get to the corner. They're playing a lot of 6-eye technique, which is inside shade of the tight end. And we thought, you know, we had ways to get tight ends pulling out in front of them now from the backside, so it almost looked like a counter sweep. And so we saw some things just by alignment and leverage that we thought we could do. But really good job by the tight ends, really good job by the other line, good job by the receivers. And then I thought Aaron did a really nice job of hitting the seam and then accelerating and running away from people. So it was a combination of a lot of things. And then ultimately, if you can run the ball downhill inside, you kind of pack everybody in and you get a little bit softer outside.
Now, Coach, I know normally when there's one team that's ranked very high and the other team is struggling, you know, people tend to expect like lopsided scores. But when you go into a rivalry game, a lot of times you throw out records.
We did. Absolutely.
So, with that being said, were you a little surprised that the last 2 years you guys were able to beat them soundly like this?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this, to be honest with you. And again, you know, once they scored, you know, and again, it all goes back to how we started the game. If that's 0-0 at the end of the first quarter, I think maybe it's an entirely different dimension. You know, but ultimately, we made some plays early, and I thought that was the whole key to the game.
Aaron, can you walk us through those 2 end-arounds that you took in the, I think it was towards the end of the first quarter when you took it into the red zone and then into the end zone?
It was basically just coaches made a good play call. They like you said, inside technique on the tight end. So basically all we just had to do was just wall off the end, and I just had to hit the seam and go. The offensive line did a great job of hitting the seam, walling off the defense. And it's just, you got to perform, you got to do what you have to do for the team. So I felt confident in my ability, and we did a good job doing it.
How good is it to have a big day like today, your first kind of breakout day?
It felt really good. We've been running this play like all season and things like that, like Coach said, and then to finally get one and be the first touchdown of my career, it's a great feeling.
Yeah, Billy, can you talk about this offense? It seems like every week you guys, or 1 week you set the record for the most rushing yards of the season. Then the next week you extend it. This week you guys had 396 rushing yards, 600 yards of offense. Just talk about, running this offense.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with confidence. I mean, we come out expecting for everything to work, and today was one of those days. Our O-line has been very consistent, very sound all year, and today we were able to take advantage of some play-action throws, get up top, and we're clicking right now. Everyone's confident in what we're doing in practice. Everything's working. We're confident in the coaches putting us in the right position, and we got some kids making some plays out there. Aaron made a lot of plays today. David Worst had a great game today, and we're confident going in, and we got 2 more games to go, and we're going to be coming out just as ready as we were tonight.
How big is a 52-10 win when you're going into what's, for all intents and purposes, the title match against Harvard next week?
It's huge for us. We did put up 52 points, but our defense has been playing great all year. That 7 points was kind of on us tonight, and we're real confident going in. I know the defense is confident. I know the offense is confident, and that's all we can be at this point. We just got to get ready to go, enjoy this win, and start Monday, get in the coach's office and get ready for Harvard.
Coach, at this point last year, you guys are really finding consistency, especially at quarterback. Can you compare where you're at going into the Harvard game this year versus last year?
Well, we're a lot further ahead on offense. We've had basically the same quarterbacks on day one, whereas last year we went through 4 in the first 4 games. So we've had a lot more consistency. We've kind of been able to really try to highlight what players can do well and what they can bring to the table, and it's allowed us to expand the package because you've had the same kids in place and build upon it. So we're certainly way ahead of where we were on offense. A little bit more experience, a little bit more explosive, and our young kids have grown up as we head into week 9, which is nice. So,
And how about Harvard? Where do you think they are?
I don't. We played Princeton. I don't know. I haven't looked at Harvard. You guys all want to know about Harvard. I don't know. I haven't looked at the Harvard tape yet. There's nobody we played that they played. We saw the film. That was it. So.
You had a lot of trick plays today, though. Just throwing those wrinkles in before heading into Harvard adds something more that they have to be worried about.
Yeah, I mean, just again, you can expand some of those wrinkles as you have kids who can absorb those kind of plays. You have to spend all your time just lining up in regular formations or run regular plays because that's all they can handle because they're young and inexperienced. You're somewhat limited in what you can play call. As you get more and more confidence, you expand the package, and I think you can do some of those things and feel good about calling.
Thanks, guys.
That's good.